Usually, this is where I start the video by showing a shitpost, but today, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Tuantu's Lobotomization Branches is a dogshit game full of bugs and garbage game mechanics that try to be different from the source material just because. This game is a slap to the balls to any real Project Moon fans. Excuse me. I had to get out of my system because I am sick and tired of hearing people talk positively about this game when it doesn't deserve it at all. With that said, now I can start talking about this game proper. Tuantu's Lobotomization Branches is a game that emulates Lobotomy Corporation inside Roblox, the ever-elusive management game set in the Project Moon universe where you manage beings beyond human understanding. Unlike its contemporaries, Tuantu's decides to differ itself by giving you an entire 3D environment to run around in. In the game, instead of taking the role of the manager controlling the entire facility, you instead control an agent who must work with abnormalities, suppress ordeals and breaching abnormalities, and make sure you don't die. With all that said, I genuinely hate this game with a passion, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna cover every aspect of the game, one by one. Just one thing before we begin, thank you to my friends over at Tonrep's Floor of History for helping me get footage for this video. They helped me suffer through this game, and without them I wouldn't be able to get B-roll footage for this video. Honestly, the audio and music isn't that bad. If you can overlook the constant yapping clerk that spam outdated memes in your face, but you can turn those off anyway, so I can't really hold a grudge on that. Although, the reason the audio and music for this game isn't trash is because almost all of it was stolen from its source material. Somehow, they got Aiden Mayo, the composer of Item Asylum, to work on this game. I honestly don't have much to add, except that I'm glad they stole the music from better games, because I can guarantee that if they tried making their own, they'd fail horribly at it. All in all, I give the audio of this game a out of 10. Before we begin this section, I do want to emphasize that I am not an artist whatsoever. Despite me having worked in Blender before, I am far from what people would call a good artist. With that said, the visuals are really bad. It's not anything that makes the game unplayable, but more so makes you laugh. The visuals for the facility are alright, it's mostly the visuals for the abnormalities and the ego equipment that are just atrocious. Not because they're an eyesore, though some of them are, but because the art style for all of them is all over the place. Some of the abnormalities just look like Roblox default assets, some are stolen from other games, or general Roblox media. Of course, this handful of abnormalities taken from Lobotomy Corporation, but I mean, that's to be expected. Though, in the case of some abnormalities, for example, Mountain of Smiling Bodies, its textures look like it got pushed through a meat grinder and a printing press. In the case of Snow Queen and Snow White's Apple, as well as other abnormalities, their models are just blocky textures like they're from Pixel Gun 3D. And, best of all, Blue Star is just a fucking PNG! Though, they are giving it a model soon. All in all, the visuals are the cherry on top of this septic tank of a game that gives it that slight hint of amateurism in a game where almost nothing goes right. All in all, I give the visuals a out of 10. Oh, also side note for this section, Bina's model is so ludicrously well detailed for no apparent reason. Meanwhile, Red Mist is just a fucking Robloxian character with some bullshit strapped on her. Yeah, no, this game's visuals are so inconsistent that it's just laughable. Oh boy, brace yourselves for this one, because it's gonna be a long one. So far, most aspects of the game have either been massacred beyond recognition or just stolen entirely from the source material of this game. That said, how's the gameplay of Tuantu's? I mean, is that really a question? It's bad. Wait. You know what? I think I got something better. There we go. Now it's perfect. Seriously, I don't think I've played another game this horrible. I'd rather shove my head inside an industrial wood chipper while being on salvia and having my legs amputated with a beaver than ever play this fucking game again. You want to take a guess how many systems this game gets right? None. 0. From the atrociously made abnormalities, to the combat being a failed hodgepodge of Limbus Company and Library of Ruina, to the horrible balancing this game has, to the sheer size of the facility making it impossible to manage without at least 2 people, and God forbid the amount of bugs in this game. It gets everything that was in the original Lobotomy Corporation wrong. Not to mention, there are so many things that are changed from the original for absolutely no reason, and all I can ask is why? Every little aspect that Project Moon got right in Lobotomy Corporation just doesn't exist in this game, or it seems to be complete dog shit. Let me give you the most egregious example. So, if you've played Lobotomy Corporation, which I'll assume you have, you know a thing or two about Sapphire meltdowns. And I'm gonna be specifically talking about Malkuths here, although most other meltdowns have also gotten similar treatments. In the original game, Malkuth offers a slight challenge by shuffling all the work types after every meltdown, meaning that you either have to risk working on strong abnormalities or wasting some time working on lower risk ones so that you can figure out the work type. It's not perfect, but it's alright. Well, here in Tuantu's, that's not how it works, chump. Not only are the work types shuffled around, each abnormality has them shuffled in a different way. This means that abnormalities such as Sickler, who breaches if you perform instinct work on him, is completely inaccessible. This by itself isn't the worst thing though. So why am I complaining? Well, because you have no idea what work you're performing. Like, why is that even a thing? It doesn't make sense for Malkuth, the head of the control department, to have an aspect that revolves around information. It just makes the encounter so much more difficult for absolutely no reason, and that's how I describe all the core suppressions and Tuantus, honestly. This is also without even mentioning the other meltdowns, such as the Hakma meltdown, which is impossible without a sizable group to cover the whole facility, going back to how the size of the facility doesn't cater itself to smaller groups of 1 to 2 players, or God forbid, the Gabora meltdown. But wait, I'm still not done! It's time to talk about the abnormalities! To be fair, a good chunk of them are fine to work with and fight, but in the sense that they don't have anything that makes me want to slam my head into a wall. Although I feel as if some of them, looking at you, Super Speedster, were made by the laughing, joking numbnuts to be as tedious as possible to contain. With that said, the list of abnormalities here is just... what the fuck? We lost our beloved Onsen and got this fucking brick in exchange. There's a horse girl from Umamusume here for some reason. There are 3 abnormalities taken directly from Item Asylum. Maxwell the goddamn cat is here, and for some reason deals pale damage. As a Teth, Forsaken Murderer can instantly stagger you. The World Machine from One Shot is here, and it's the most annoying shit ever. Happy Teddy Bear doesn't work as it used to, and instead of requiring other people to work on it interchangeably, it now requires you to work on another abno before working on it again. Which does solve a problem that solo players had, but for some reason, whenever you're in multiplayer, it doesn't revert back to the original, which just goes to show the lack of polish in the gameplay. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the funniest thing of all, they got, no joke, Dr. fucking House. And you want to know something even funnier? His ego armor has a 3x damage vulnerability to red. Yes, you heard me. 3x damage. All I can ask is, what the fuck were they thinking? Now, let's talk about leveling up. This might be, and I am not saying this lightly, the worst part of the game. You see, Obviously, when you start a fresh save, you begin as a level 1, or level 2, 3, whatever the fuck, if you beat haunt suppression, with no ego and no bitches. You gradually get better stats by performing work on abnormalities. Instinct work levels up fortitude, insight levels up prudence, and so on and so forth. You play the game similar to how you level up agents in the original. The way you acquire ego is also mostly the same, except that for some reason you not only have to work with the abnormality enough times to get unique PE boxes, you also have to acquire law points by yourself by working on abnormalities. Once you get the ego, however, you can freely equip it with no prerequisites whatsoever. So theoretically, if an admin gave you Aleph tier ego, you could just equip it even as a level 1, which if you've played enough in a save, is easier done than said. Yippee! Also, each time you level up, you can choose between one of 3 talents, most of which are alright, but some of them are just game breaking. Not to mention, some of them, like Fast Learner and Death's Door, are complete dog shit. Now it may seem alright, and it is. But here comes the worst part of the game. Traumas and the permadeath mechanic. Let's begin by talking about the better of the two. Traumas are acquired whenever your SP hits 0 or below, in which case, you get one at random. Some of them have little to no changes, but some of them are absolute run-enders, such as hatred and oppression. Oh, also, did I forget to mention, they are permanent! Well, not exactly. They are removed either at the start of a new day, assuming you survive one entire day, without dying once, and even then, only one gets removed at max, or by using the special checkup work on Dr. House, which has a lot of prerequisites with the punishment for not following them being instant death. I could excuse traumas, they're a small punishment after all, but permadeath, oh nah, this thing can go fuck itself! So at the start of the day, you start off with 2 to 3 lives. Each time you die, you lose a life. Losing 1 or 2 lives isn't that bad. You just die temporarily and respawn instantly with all your ego and stats once the next Clifford meltdown activates. But it's when you lose all your lives that things go to shit. Not only are you permanently dead for the day, but you also lose all the ego you are currently holding, and also get reset back to level 1 or level 3, whatever, you get the point. This actually happened to me when I was playing this game with a friend, and let me tell you, it was so demotivating that it's about 1/4 the reason why I made this video in the first place. One last thing, and this is actually the worst offender of the entire game. The horrible balancing. Most of the ego of the custom abnormalities, specifically the suits, are just trash and had to get buffed multiple times to even get close to matching the ones from vanilla L-Corp. A lot of the abnormalities deal a shit ton of damage proportionally to their risk level, such as DVD Man, who, despite him being a fucking Teth, was given 10 to 15 pale damage for some reason. What else? Oh yeah! Snow Queen's fight deals black damage even though she deals white, and last but not least, Deep Sea Bunnies. Something so ass that people from Tonrep server, where I reside, had to complain directly to the devs for. Although, they have been removed due to the pressure drama. Which I'm glad for, considering they deal a shit ton of red damage, despite them also being a fucking Teth. This game has so many gameplay aspects, and it could have just taken everything from Lobotomy Corporation the way it was. But no! It had to be different so the developers could make an excuse that they are working on the game, when all they're doing is the equivalent of making a cake, and they're removing everything except the shitty pile of dough that is almost inedible. And mind you, all of this is without getting into the countless bugs that this game has, and the serious lack of polish. Actually, now that I said that, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. One time I was playing in a public lobby, big mistake, and I fucked up and died to an abnormality. Now usually when that happens you get instantly booted to the spectator screen, but for some reason, this didn't happen for me. Not only was I stuck watching my dead body, I could sort of move around by massing WASD. Funniest of all, when the ordeal approached, which just so happened to be the Indigo, the one with the sweepers, my body was consumed by the sweepers, and I was just stuck in fucking limbo. I don't have footage for this sadly, though I do have some screenshots I believe. editing dapper. If you find the screenshots, show them here in the, Anyways, in conclusion, I give the gameplay of Tuantu's a solid out of 10. I seriously cannot describe this game with any other way than saying that it's complete and utter garbage. Nothing goes right in it, and everything that is even remotely good about it was just stolen from other games. It's a giant mess of spaghetti code and broken game mechanics held together by duct tape that have butchered the piece of art that was Lobotomy Corporation into something nearly unplayable. At the end of the day, I understand that it's not easy to make a game. The amount of things that you have to balance is intense, but the fact that the original L Corp was produced by a bunch of college students on a shoestring budget and still managed to be great goes to show that it isn't just the devs having trouble making the game, it's their unending laziness that has made the game the way it is today. I don't have anything else to add. Fuck this game. Goodbye. Do you like my slur, my racist slur?
Cannot start a video of this, bro. Can you? Are you gonna have like a?
I'm gonna send you the.
Just saying some bullshit at the end of the video. That'd be funny.
2-1-2s. If they don't call the sequel that, I'm not playing it.
I'm not playing it either way. You're not making a sequel. Unless it's like Tuantu's but bad, which it already is. So it circles back around to
Tuantu's but bad? That's like saying hot fire.
Fire, except it's like kinda hot and it burns your hand.
Jonkler!
I like it.
I'm putting that in the video.
I'm gonna start playing PvZ at max volume at a random point in the session.
Help! I went fucking insane! I'm putting this in the bloopers and I'm gonna put the Sisyphus music over it.
Yeah, just that for struggling to get a good work result.
I love smashing. Bro.
You're black! What? I didn't say what you're saying! Oh, well, trying to say was... Oh my god. It's beautiful.
I take everything back. This game is amazing.